Well, I'd say this is my first go at anodizing, but it's actually not. It's my second because the two parts I put in, which is this adjustable vice stop, and I did them an hour in this solution. So it's a lead plate there, a lead plate there, maybe 2.5 litres of water, and then I can't get battery acid here in the UK. Apparently you go on a police list if you even try. So I use this, which was sodium bisulfate 92%. I bought a bottle of that, which is apparently for lowering the pH value of swimming pools. And I mixed some in, and it didn't seem to do much. But I thought, well, it's had enough time at an hour, and roughly the same current. In fact, a bit higher. I had it up at about 2 amps. And this is a variable power supply, but unfortunately I can't turn the voltage up and keep the current at that. I'd like to have the voltage up maybe between 12 and 15 volts, but I can't, because for turned voltage, well, voltage is up to maximum now, and the only way is to turn current up, and you'll see voltage goes up with it. But I don't want the current that high. Apparently it's something like, from reading online, this 720 rule thing, apparently it's 12 amps per square foot, and I reckon I've only got 1/10 of a square foot in there, so I wanted 1.2 amps. So I'm still too high now, aren't I? Let's go back down to where I was. You see, voltage is not that high. I mean, if I turn it up, it goes nuts, does that fizzling, but there is stuff coming in. So I did it, and then I put it into this dye, and I left it in for half an hour, and it's warmed up quite a bit, and it was crap. It just washed off. So I assumed that I hadn't anodized it enough. So I've got a timer going now. We've had 22 minutes so far. So we're going to give it an hour and then turn it up a bit near end. Whether I should or not, I don't know. I mean, if I turn that up now, well, in fact, let's do it and you can see what's happening. If I turn this up, see that? Those crackers. But apparently it doesn't want to be up that high for the amount of time I've got to do it, so I'm going to be a good boy and give it an hour at that. I mean, they're saying 12 amps for an hour at 1 square foot. And I reckon I've got 1/10 of a square foot there. So 1.2 amps, wouldn't it? That'd be right. So the solution was obviously not concentrated enough. So this bottle, I'd put about 1/3 of the bottle in. So I've tipped all that in. Whether it's a good thing to do or not, I don't know, because I haven't got a clue at solution dilution. I've been making distilled water from my dehumidifier and boiling and cooling water. This is a bath of baking soda for neutralising the acid when I'm getting to it. But apparently you've got to have one of these always, just in case all happens. You can plunge straight into that and it'll kill the acid. And then there's this. This is a mixture of red dye. It's proper anodizing dye. And violet mixed together, and I think that's a stunning colour, absolutely stunning. In fact, it's more violet than blood, isn't it? Not that I wanted blood colour. I'm just playing about. So there we are so far. I'll come back later and see what sort of results I get. Right, that's had an hour and 9 minutes, and I must admit it looks different. You see, it were highly polished and it's gone like all a grey colour. So I don't know. I've just dipped it in the bicarb to neutralise it, but you see how it's got that grey colour to it. I need to put phone down because I'm going to have to spray this now. In fact, no, I'll pause it. Right, so that's in the solution. The solution's being warmed up with a fish tank heater. Well, let's see where we go with that. See if it's any better. If not, I'm going to have to try and get some better acid, because that is sodium bisulfate. And if that hasn't worked, then I don't know what will. Or I'm doing something else wrong. Been methodically clean doing it. But I'm going to leave that in now, set the timer. I'm going to give that at least half an hour. I'll give it at least half an hour. And then see if it's coloured up. If it has, then I'll boil this water back up again. A little gas stove my mates give me. It's one with little gas bottles in. But you know what, they're a great little heater. Great for keeping it back of your car with a kettle. I'll boil that back up again and then get that boiling, or just below, and we'll see where we go. Fingerprint there, and that one's washing off. Just a right little mark. Just see it in the light there, look. That's got some little bits in it, like not perfect in that. Like it hasn't been anodised for long enough. That one's sanding off because I don't want anodise on that bit. Pleased though for first attempt. All done. So that is adjusted by that. And then that adjusts the in and out. Doing this one hand because I've got phone in the other hand. I'm guessing if I don't want to use it, I don't know whether it'll fold over or not. Yeah, just take it off, wouldn't you? It doesn't want to be like that. If you want to use it, you take it off. Nice little addition though. All complete. Thanks for watching. Well, I've been doing this anodizing, coloured anodizing for a few days now, and I've not had a great deal of success. Apart from the part that I did, which was that. And that turned out quite well. So I've been thinking, a couple of things I've done wrong. One of them is this current here. I've had it way too high, and it eats into the product. And the other thing I've done wrong, and I must be stupid, because I'd seen a guy on YouTube and he said the only thing that ever goes into that bath, apart from the lead cathodes, is either aluminium or titanium. And what I've been doing is, these knobs I've got, these machine handles, are threaded obviously to what they fit, and I've been screwing a stainless steel bolt in and then wrapping the aluminium welding wire around it, and I noticed they were fizzling like mad. But of course what was happening was the anodizing wasn't working at all. I've just done another one, and here we go. Let's have a look how I've got it in the bath now. It's been in about 5 minutes. That's looking quite nice. Now I'll tell you, the people that say I'm not, let's start again. People say that you must wash the part, wash the part, wash the part. Now what I've done with that ball is I've put it in the lathe and I've polished it. I cleaned it up and I've polished it so it was absolutely gleaming, and I've used the old, as I always do, the old Solval, and polished it up so it was absolutely gleaming. Now one guy had said that if you're gonna want your anodized part to be shiny, then you need it polished. If you want the part to be dull or satin, which is what that part on the milling machine is, you put it in caustic soda and then clean it off and then anodize it in the bath and then do your dye. And that's true, that's what I've found, it's worked out. So that ball there has been in that bath for 1.5 hours, and the current I've had low. Now that ball that's in that bath now, I had it in earlier on and I had it up to about 7 amps, and it burnt all the ball. It actually ate into it. I mean, those cathodes, those lead plates, you see there's just a little bit of like smoky bubbles coming off. They were really angry. They were all heading towards the part, and I noticed it ate all the part away in the middle. So I took it back out again and I put this part back in the chuck in the lathe on a mandrel, and I cleaned it all up. Well, first of all I put it in caustic soda to get rid of all the colour on it, and then I put it in the lathe and I run round it with some 240 paper, then 800, then 2000, all with water on, and then polished it again in Solval, and that's the result. So far what we've got now, about 6 or 7 minutes, and it's looking absolutely stunning. And I'm just hoping that when I don't want to touch it on out, I'm just hoping when I plunge it into the boiling water that it's going to stay fast and seal. earlier on I left a part in for about 35-40 minutes, and I'll show you it, and it hasn't turned out too good at all. The bottom bit don't look bad, but look at the top. It's only a rough cut thing. Don't take any notice of all those grooves in it. I just roughed it out. That, to be honest with you, I was making a ball, and I've got all my settings wrong using my ball turning device, and I got all my settings wrong, and I ended up with that, and I thought, oh, but it doesn't look bad. It looks like a tulip or an acorn or something, like something off end of a curtain rod. So I thought, I'll have a go at anodizing it, but I didn't leave it in long enough. So that's the result of not leaving it in long enough. It just doesn't put enough growth on the part to make it porous enough. Anyway, we're on it prattling about. Trying not to turn camera fast to make it all dizzy. So yeah, we'll give this a few minutes, and then I'm going to come back when I've got it plunged into the water. Just hope it doesn't all wash off, and hope it seals. I'm very, very hopeful for it. So I'll stop now, and then I'll come back when I've got it in for seal. That's a fish tank heater, and I've got it wound right up as high as I can. It goes to 35, and I've wound it past that setting. So they say that your water should be, your dye should be about 40 degrees, which is probably what it is. Okay. Right. The part is in the hot water. That's just under boiling. I've just turned it back on, the little cooker, and it's staying fast. The last one I did, that one that I showed you that were a bit manky, when I dipped it in here, you could see the dye running off, and this isn't. It's staying fast. So I'm going to leave that in there for 20-25 minutes maybe, and we'll see where we go with it. But I'm very, very hopeful for that. And if it is, it means I've cracked it and I've sussed it out. Because what I hadn't said is that I haven't got sulfuric acid. That is, I'll show you what it is. It's that, which is for swimming pools and spa and hot tubs, and it's for lowering the pH value. It's actually sodium bisulfate, but they're calling it hydrogen sulfate. Obviously it's the same stuff. And my water that I'd been using was, it had evaporated quite a lot, and when I put some more water in it, I think I thinned it down so much that it wasn't conductive anymore. That, I think that was about £18, but it's 7 kilos. I mean, it's a great big tub, and to give you an idea, that is what's in that one, which I've taken out of that big one, and that was all that went in originally, but it was only 600ml, and that was £10. I think we paid £10 something for that, for 500 grams, and that is 7 kilos. So, and it would double the price of that. So, you know, if you look around, I mean, that's off eBay. If you look around, you get a bargain. So yeah, it does work. Anodizing using sodium bisulfate instead of sulfuric acid, which you cannot buy in the UK. Apparently, if you do, you go on a bloody police register. They chase after you and want to know what you want it for. They won't sell you anywhere without a license. You've got to show a license to do it, which obviously I haven't got. So far quite pleased. When that's finished and I take it out and dry it, I will show again, and we'll see where we go with it. Right, so here's the results. So that is an earlier attempt from this evening. which didn't turn out too well because I didn't leave it in long enough, I believe. That I've just done, and that has turned out quite stunning. And that one as well. It's still hot. Now, to give you an example of what results I've had, is that let's get my finger right. That and that were done together the other day, and that's how that turned out. Very, very poor, I'm afraid. I want some work on it, so that needs redoing and then fettling up, and that dimple taking out. But yeah, so that is the result of not having any other material other than aluminium in the bath, other than the lead cathode, and it actually does anodise. Oh, look at that, it's just focused. Stunning, absolutely stunning. Let's see if I can yeah, it's not focusing, but yeah, I'm well pleased, absolutely delighted, absolutely stunning. So now I know how to anodise. And how much did it cost? Very little. I bought 5 different dye colours, black, blue, violet, red, yellow, I think. And if you mix them together, you can make some stunning colours. I'm going to have a go at making iridium, which I think I can do with the colours I've got. They were, let's say £20 for all the 5. Might have been 25, might have been a £5 each, little sachets, but you make like 2 litres or more. I've only used about a third of the packet on each dye, and I've loads left, and they say that it goes on forever, does the dye. You can use it for years. The sodium bisulfate was 20 quid for this last lot, and that'll do me forever. 7 kilograms, and then water free, just boil and cool kettles. Caustic soda, you get that from your local hardware shop, which I've got a great big tub of it, but most of the time that hasn't had caustic on it. If that had had caustic on it, and that, they would have been dull. You see how they're shiny? Well, they would have been dull if they'd have had caustic on them. Apparently that's the difference. If you want to make them dull or satin, put them in caustic, let them go white, spray them off, stabilise them maybe with some baking soda, and then bob them in your bath and anodise them. But they've been polished. That one and that one have been polished, but I prefer that. I think that's a much nicer colour. I think that's stunning. I'm well pleased with myself because I didn't think I'd be able to do it. There were so many people saying that, you know, you do fail a lot, and I did. Over the first couple of days I did fail a lot, but you soon learn. So anybody who's having a go at this, or thinking of having a go at it, you're going to look at a fish tank heater, some containers. I got 5 dyes, your sodium bisulfate, some caustic soda, maybe 40 quid, maybe. And then don't forget, you've got obviously either a car battery, but I use this power supply because you can adjust it. Now, that was £56, but I've always wanted a power supply, because I do a lot. I mess around with LEDs and all sorts, and that'll come in handy for not just for the anodizing. It'll come in handy for other jobs. So 100, less than £100 would get you set up, and you'd be able to get results like that. I mean, if you got a motorcycle, or you want to make these are just machine handles for my Myford. But I mean, I've got a nice Ducati motorcycle, and I bought some brake levers in red anodized, some shorties, and I think they were about 35 quid, £35 English. I could have got my original ones, and though they were black, cleaned them off, anodized them, and wouldn't have cost anything. Once you've got your gear set up, it don't cost anything to anodize, and you'll do hundreds and hundreds of parts very, very cheaply. As I say, the materials do not cost a lot, and anybody who tells you you need sulfuric battery acid, that proves you do not need battery acid. You do not need it, and this stuff is not dangerous. If you get it in your eyes, obviously you'd be an idiot, but if you did, you need to just wash it out with water. It's I don't say it's alkali, it is an acid, but it's a very, very weak acid, and as long as it conducts electricity, then that's fine. It becomes an electrolyte, and as long as you can make an electrolyte that'll conduct electricity, then you've got enough to do anodizing. So thank you for watching. Anybody that does watch, give us a like, maybe a thumbs up, or even subscribe. At least I'm happy with results. Thanks for watching. This is just a little short add-on, because when you saw the anodizing that I'd done, the ball that was hanging above the milling machine looked like, on the left hand side, it was all marked, but it wasn't. What it actually was a reflection from the vise, the shiny reflection from the vise. This is the ball. Let me put that down and see if this fancy focus system will work. So if I click on there, it should now focus on that part no matter where I move it. That's better. So there you go. So all those what look like marks are not, the reflections from light. As you can see, I'm turning this to prove it. I'll turn it like that. That it did work out absolutely perfect. That was just an add-on, just to show you, because when I watched the film that I'd made, it actually looked like there was a big mark on it, and there wasn't. So I'm going to be doing lots more anodizing, and I'm going to make some creative colours. I don't know what I'm going to do, but we'll see. Maybe my Ducati original clutch and brake lever, maybe. I don't know. We'll have a go at it. I've been having a right problem. I use Pinnacle Studio 24 Ultra, which is not the cheapest editing software in the world, and I've had a right job. This anodizing setup was an accumulation of 9 videos and some pictures. The 9th video, I don't know why, but when I was rendering it and exporting it to an MP4, it was crashing. It wasn't crashing, it was freezing. It'd get to the 8th movie, and when it got to the 9th, it just crashed. So I'm having another go now at adding this plus the one before it, which is showing you my results, and I'm going to see if I can create it. But I have had a lot of trouble with that program that I've got. Yeah, Pinnacle Studio. I don't know whether all editing programs are the same, but I mean, you know, I've got a super duper 4K monitor. That's 30 odd inch monitor, and I'll show you my setup. This is quite a powerful PC. That's a gaming PC that cost me a lot of money, and back there it's got an SSD drive. I think that's 1/2 terabyte. It's got a 2 terabyte hard drive inside it, and that's a 4 terabyte USB 3. The processor is a water cooled. The main chip is all water cooled with a fan unit on it. It's got a super duper graphics card with all the latest software on it. 16 gig of RAM. It's a double quad core, so it's like 8 core, and even with that it struggles. Mainly, yeah, it's hard editing. People think it's easy to do, but it isn't. Just thought I'd show that towards the end, so I'll add this on to the end of the video. Thanks guys for watching, I really appreciate it, and some feedback. Even tell me I'm an idiot and I'm doing it all wrong, I don't care. Just, you know, or if you think I've done a good job, tell me. Thank you for watching.